Yes. Running away from the drama. Woo!
One more. Let me see you.
Running away.
Awesome.
We've been back from Bulgaria for a few days now. Never gonna change, only when if he wants to for himself.
No, I'm always wrong, no matter what.
It's okay, then don't be married. File for divorce.
There is like an weensy tiny bit of me that enjoys seeing Lauren like squirm a little bit and scared.
It's not that I'm ashamed of her. It's not that I'm ashamed of the baby. It all comes down to you're still not divorced. Like, we just look a hot mess.
I need $5,000 for a divorce lawyer also to go through the divorce.
So all this money adds up to a good $70,000.
Okay, then go to immigration. Deport me. Go ahead.
I've already gone immigration. You'll hear from them soon.
One thing folks on 90 Day will do is embarrass their partner, not realizing that in doing so, they are also embarrassing themselves. We are dealing with a lot of clowns. Let's get into the circus. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Y'all, we have a packed agenda because everybody was showing out. Before we get into it, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new here, and hype it. If you have the function, hype it. It apparently really helps with the algorithm. I'm so happy to talk 90 Day with y'all. I feel like I've been in Love is Blind world, so let's get into the good. So we're going to start this off with Darcey&Georgi just because you know why. So first of all, this segment starts with Darcey and Stacey at this like workout class. I don't even know what to call it, but it feels like acrobatic. So they're bouncing around. One thing they love to do was to blurt out affirmations.
Go! Yes! Running away from the drama.
Woo! One more. Let me see you.
Running away.
Awesome.
And you would think that for a set of twins that are just overflowing with affirmations and positivity, you'd think that their life would be less of a mess, right? But workout is done, they're chit-chatting, and of course Stacey is digging in, trying to figure out, how have the vibes been after Bulgaria. And basically Darcey is saying that her and Georgie are like ships in the night, they're just roommates, but it is time to pay the rent, honey. So she texted him, and he apparently was like pushing back. So she decided to add Georgie and her father into a group chat and to request the money that way. Now, it is insane to be in your 50s and to tattletale to your dad. One, because you're married and you're grown as hell and you have kids, which by the way, where are they? But two, if I were your dad, I would be like, when do I get a break? Because what do you mean you want me to like bully your husband? Also, her dad, he's in good shape, but like what exactly is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to take on Georgie?
So I had to put daddy on a text, a group text.
Is it your first time you've added your dad to a text?
Well, I have in the past, Can't count on my hand, but there's been other instances. But yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal about getting the rent money. And it's kind of embarrassing that I have to include my dad, but I feel like that's the only thing that I could do to, help me.
All that it did was embarrass Georgie, so he like just gave away the money. But I have so many questions about this rent situation because obviously you have to pay rent monthly. It shouldn't be a surprise to Georgie. So I'm like, what's the holdup with that? Is it that you're being cheap? Is it that you think you're still a sugar baby and that you shouldn't have to put up with rent because you put up with her? Is a choice. But is that a reason? Another reason that I was thinking though was, does Darcey send him receipts? Does he have a paper trail that his money is actually going to rent? Because it doesn't seem like he trusts her financial choices. So like, is that the reason? I'm here trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he makes himself look so shady. And to add to that shade, but Georgie, you need to be dragged for a moment because what do you mean you told your wife that she needs to give you money to pay the expenses from your Bulgaria trip? I'm like, wait, what? I'm trying to think about what would be a valid reason for him to ask for money back for a trip that was for him and a trip that it was with his wife. Like, if you guys come up with a good reason, let me know in the comments, but I can't think of one. And the reason I can't think of one is that for COVID and a little bit after, he was literally living on Darcey's dime. Darcey took care of every single thing that had to do with him, including things that weren't needs, things that weren't essentials. Georgie, when you wanted a fur coat on her birthday, that wasn't an essential, and she covered it for you. Did she ask for that money back for that fur coat once you got a job? Like, this tit for tat situation is crazy. And obviously they have a lot of issues, but I didn't realize just how deep the financial issue was. I knew that he was like taking advantage of her, but it felt like she liked it. So does Stacey. Like, they like, having men live under them because they like to have that control. But for someone like Georgie that doesn't like things being thrown in his face, which is their specialty, why would he move like that? You see what I mean? Like, he's not doing himself any favors. And then that evening, they have a dinner set up with their friends. And of course, one thing about Darcey, she loves putting up her relationship on the chopping board and just have everyone say their piece on their matters. It is just so juvenile. And I'm sure it's just, does wonders for her marriage and trust. When it's time for that dinner, Georgie looks like he's dead inside. And he's right across Darcey. Her friend is like, oh my God, I know that you were worried about Darcey's wardrobe in Bulgaria. How did she do? Meanwhile, they pan to Darcey. She has her boobs out. One of them is about to pop out, and he's like, that's how she did. She's like, I'm in Miami. I can wear whatever I want. And he's like, this is not a fight that he's gonna win, but also this is how he met her. I was at her neck when they were in Bulgaria, because if you're gonna meet someone's family, like, you just need to do your part. Like, don't put up a fight on it, especially when it's temporary. It's not gonna be something that, like, you have to change your life forever. I honestly just, like, don't understand what possessed them to get married when they're like oil and water. But Darcey's answering her friend about how Bulgaria was, and she's saying all of the positive things, which, good for you, Darcey. But her evil twin is next to her. So Stacey doesn't miss a beat and is like, yeah, but the trip ended on a bad note. We haven't talked about it yet. Stacey, this isn't your relationship. This isn't your marriage. There is no we to unpack. You and Darcey may treat it as such, but like, that's not right. And so they mentioned the thing about him wanting to travel by himself, and he's like, you misunderstood me. You travel a lot, and there's gonna be times that you can't go and I wanna go, so I'm gonna go by myself. And I don't know how much I believe of that. And Darcey's like, we have so many issues, and I know that I'm not perfect, but I'm working on things. No, she's not. Darcey thinks that by acknowledging her issue and saying that she's working on it is the equivalent of the work, and it is not. And it is in the pudding that she hasn't done any of the work. Georgie also is extremely avoidant, and he hasn't done the work. They do need like real therapy. We saw them go to one session. If they want to make this sham of a marriage work, like, they do need a mediator, because I feel like a lot of what they say is like lost in translation because they believe what they want to believe. And also, like, you can't just talk to people any kind of way that you want. So he starts pointing out in the ways that like Darcey just like overreacts, and then she overreacts. She's like, it's always me. I'm always the problem. You're not the whole problem, but you are part of the problem. And the minute he points that out, she loses her mind. So at this dinner table with their friends, she's like, you know what? Just get a divorce from me. It sounds like that's what you want. Just get a divorce.
You know what? Keep blaming me. It's never gonna change. Only when if he wants to for himself.
No, I'm always wrong, no matter what.
It's okay. Then don't be married. Out for divorce. Is that what you want? Is that what you really want? Because that's what it feels like you want.
Their friends are like, oh my God, like, did something deeper happen? No, something deeper did not happen. This is just a regular old Friday in Darcey land. Crazy. Anyway, let's move on to the Florida trio, because they are still, doing this ski trip. Jovi is still being an ass, and he's kind of apologizing for last night, but not really. He's very much like, let's have a good day. Yara, though, is ready with the jokes, because when he's like, oh, you misunderstood me, you're beautiful now, She's like, yeah, you really can't talk when you had a Dumb and Dumber haircut. And that picture, I feel like a lot of us are in agreement that he does look like a Big Mouth character. So Jovi really should be counting his blessings that he was even able to get a baddie like Yara. And he's just like, I'm gonna try my hardest to be respectful. Like, that is ick-worthy for me. But anyway. They go to breakfast. Lauren and Alexi are there. One-on-one, they're talking with Jovi and Yara about everything that happened. But the big cloud over their head is that Libby and Andre are going to join them that morning. And before they show up, Libby in their confessional is like, yeah, things are awkward. Basically, she insinuated that she's showing up because if they didn't, she knows that people would be talking crap about them. Can you imagine being that, self-absorbed? They look like evil villains. That's what they look like in their confessionals. And I think what's extra sinister is that Andre very clearly does not want Libby to make up with Lauren. From what it sounds like, Libby did do Lauren dirty in this situation, so it's gonna take Libby apologizing, and it doesn't sound like Libby's gonna be able to get to that because Andre is in her ear like, stay strong, she's a snake in disguise. Like, it's crazy. Like, no wonder she's so isolated from family, from friends, with a guy like that. But it's obvious that they do kind of want to make up because they're both talking about it to their husbands. But in person, it's real awkward. So when they do arrive, Andre gives a hug to everyone. And then when it gets to Lauren, he pulls out his hand. And it was just so awkward. Libby and Lauren are being fake around each other. The vibes are not it. And then when it's time to go sledding or whatever it is, Lauren was really scared because it's a really high up slope. I'm terrified of heights, so I get her. But it looked fun. But the whole way, Lauren is freaking out. And Libby is in her confessional being like, I got a little pleasure out of seeing her be all squirmish. And I'm like, this bitch is nobody's friend. She's just as bad as her husband. So that was crazy. But then they go up, it looks like hundreds of steps to get to the top of this hill, to get on this sled. And I'm like, that is probably something that I'll do once. Because to go up and down like that, no. I am not an outdoorsy gal, so that would not work for me. I'd probably do it once and then go to the cabins and have a hot cocoa or have a photo shoot in my cute ski wear. But that up and down situation, unless they had a lift, but they didn't have a lift here. So anyway, that's not even important. Excuse me, I'm filming this at 11 p.m. and I'm a little caffeinated and I really should be in bed, but anyway. Lauren, Libby, and Yara, after they did it once, they stay downstairs to kiki while the guys are doing their thing. And Yara really wants her friends to make up. And so she's kind of like, I want us to have fun. And Lauren acknowledges that the vibes are weird and that hopefully they'll get better, but it's really tense. And Libby is acting so stank. She's not affirming this. She's not adding to it. Nothing. And Lauren is just taken aback because she's like, well, I'm not going to apologize to myself. She clearly doesn't want to take any accountability. So it's just bad. But the next thing I want to talk about with them is that evening, they all go to a hot tub. Okay. And at this hot tub, I think Andre asks Jovi what he was drinking yesterday, which was tequila, which had his mouth loose. And Yara's like, yeah, it was so much fun until he called me ugly. And then they get into this whole conversation of the events that happened. And I'm like, Yara, your husband is not evolved. It was clear this morning that he has not learned his lesson. And you were embarrassed that this conversation happened in front of other people. Why rehash it? You know what you're working with. You know that this is raw. And you also know that Andre and Libby don't let things go. So I was just like, Yara, I knew from the start that Yara would end up crying because this is a very vulnerable thing. And I can empathize with her about it. And like I said, Jovi did not get it. Jovi's like, oh, I'm just saying, everyone looked the same and she just looked very different, but she looks beautiful now. And Yara is crying. That hurt me. The fact that you put me down so easily. That this is a source of pain for me. And he's like, I know. I said, I'm sorry. Libby is at him like, you don't do that, you don't tear down your wife's appearance. And she's talking to Jovi but also glancing at Alexi.
But Jovi, do you realize that that hurts her feelings?
I do now.
That's not nice.
In the moment, I didn't understand it.
And it makes women in general feel self-conscious.
And her and Andre are on this high horse, and I know that man has told her worse. But because we don't know what he's told her besides don't terrorize me with your pregnancy, she thinks that she has the higher moral ground against these folks. So she's going in. And so Yara is not okay. She made up in the morning, but she wasn't fine. And so she's crying and she's like, listen, I was bullied by my family all through my childhood, and now you're doing it? That doesn't make me feel good.
I'm sorry.
And bullied by my own family. And you did that, and it hurts me.
I'm sorry.
And she just ends up walking out. And yeah, Jovi feels like shit, and he should.
Yes, and I don't like that you always like pull it down in front of everybody. You know that that's the only thing which hurt me.
That shouldn't have been a topic for that evening again. Anyway, up next is Brandon and Julia. I'm just going to sum it up because nothing really happened. Julia came back from New York after being apart from Brandon for 3 days. They did not talk, but she has decided that she's going to go to Europe with or without him. And so she pulls up and she tells him her plan. And she's like, with or without you, but just know that if you don't go, like, consider our relationship done. And before she even finishes, you could see him trying to get a word in. He's like, Julia, I'm going to go with you. Like, clearly we are at the end of our rope and I want to do whatever we can. I still want a family, but I know that we need this now. And she's like, well, you're so flip-floppy. Like, how do I know that you're not going to switch on me again, that you're not going to change your mind? And he's like, well, I quit my job, so the stakes are high. And so it's great, except he's all decided, but he hasn't told his family. He doesn't need their permission. He is a grown man in a marriage. However, he still breastfeeds. So the reason it's important that he tells his parents is that until they get it in their brain, it's not going to be real to him. And it looks like next week is going to be as much of a hot mess as you expected. That's it for them. We're going to end this with a bang. Jasmine, Matt, and Gino. So Jasmine and Matt are at their house and he's setting up a bassinet. He is pissed that it is pink because Jasmine is determined to get their entire house to look like Barbie land. And he's just like telling her like, oh, you know, when the baby's here, you gotta, you know, fix your nails. Like, you can't have them that long. You can't be, you know, wearing whatever you want like that, which is interesting that he would say that now. But she's taken aback and she's like, where's the Matt that I met that supported me, that wouldn't say that to me? Like, why are you always criticizing me now? And I think it's BS that he's doing that. He knew exactly who she was when he met her. I hate when guys like get with a baddie and then are like shocked that your baddie is gonna act like a baddie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of that. But I think the difference now in his demeanor, which I think says a lot about him and how he views her, is that he was okay with it before because he wasn't taking her seriously. It was just a fling. And now that he's gonna be tied to her forever with a baby, now he's remembering his standards, which again is BS. And she's like, where is that guy? The guy that accepted me. And I'm like, Jasmine, that guy was your weekend F-buddy. And now that he's with you full time, this is what you're getting. And you could just tell that he's like so sick of dealing with her antics because now he gets her full time. It's like Sister Wives where Robin used to like always hog all the attention with Cody. And now that 3 wives divorced him and she's stuck in the house with him full time, she's like, I need a breather. He's so suffocating. I don't get a break. But it's like, girl, you didn't have a break when he was married to 3 other ladies. So like, you get what you pay for. And I feel like that's the thing with Matt and Jasmine. I don't feel bad for either of them. They got exactly what they wanted. And now they're realizing that it's different when you're no longer on vacation. But now that they're tied for life with a baby, he now wants her to be acceptable for his terms and his people, which is gross to me. But this is a very humbling reminder of why we shouldn't have this like the grass is greener mindset, because it's all an illusion. And I feel like Matt has always been this person. She just couldn't see through it because she liked him better than Gino at the time. But now there's no Gino, it's all Matt. And now there's a big old spotlight on these gorgeous qualities. Jasmine is on one because she's like, you know, you said you would come to Florida and you'd make me happy, but you're hiding me from your family. You're ashamed. And he's like, it's not that I'm ashamed. It's like, you know, like it's going from 0 to 100. And Jasmine, yeah, he is embarrassed. And you should be embarrassed too. Nothing about this setup is to be proud of, but you have to own it. And owning it doesn't mean being callous about how you talk about it, but owning it is just being like, this is not the best setup, but it's the origin of our love story, and now we're bringing life into the world. However, their families still don't know about this pregnancy, and Jasmine has popped. So again, Jasmine is complaining that he hasn't introduced her to anyone in his family, and she just feels like she's being kept a secret. And he's like, your family doesn't know anything about me. And she's like, well, my American family does. Her American family, she lists Gino's relatives. We need to bring back shame. We really do. Because I can't. I really can't. But Matt is like, listen, I come from a really traditional Romanian family. I feel like they're going to put a curse on me when they found out that I got a married woman pregnant. Like, that's just unheard of. Like, that's not the sequence of events.
My family is very religious, especially my mom. I don't want to give the lady a heart attack. I feel like I'm going to be cursed, maybe by the Romanian community or something. We're not doing things the way we're supposed to be doing them. So
what was it the way it was supposed to be?
Well, you're supposed to be not married, and then we date, then we get engaged, then we get married, and then you have the baby.
And to that I say, like, if those morals, if that standard of living is so important to you, you would have wrapped it up. He's a grown-ass man. He knows about contraception. You knew she was married when you were hitting it raw. Like, I don't pity you. I just think it's the lamest thing to shame someone for all of the things that you praised once before. And Jasmine is a lot of things, but I don't think that she deserved that. Especially when, like, she's bringing your child to the world. Too late. You're gonna have to step it up. And Matt is really immature. And I saw that at the last resort tell-all. But wow, like it's kind of embarrassing.
If you were so Romanian and you were so like, oh, this is my community and they are gonna curse me or I'm gonna burn in hell, why you agreed to be in an open marriage to begin with?
Because I'm an idiot.
So then deal with the consequences of being an idiot.
But I can empathize with Jasmine, and like, no one wants to feel hidden, especially while pregnant. But again, it's one of those things that like, you have to deal with the man that you chose. This is the material you have to work with. But he's like, you know what? I hear you. Let's start with my childhood friend. So they're gonna meet that guy for dinner, okay? So already the night is starting badly because they're late, because Jasmine couldn't fit into anything. It was a whole thing. They get there. Oh, the kicker, Matt wants her to hide her belly and not mention the pregnancy at all. I don't know how he thinks she's gonna be able to do that in a bodycon dress. But they get to the dinner. The friend definitely peeps the belly immediately, but doesn't say anything. They get to talking, and Jasmine is like, I know this is ignorant, but all that I know about Romania is Dracula and gypsies.
Like the only thing I know in my ignorance is Dracula and gypsies.
Apparently, it's a big no-no to mention gypsies. I think the preferred term is Romani people, but you guys can let me know if you know. But yeah, the friend does not look impressed. He's very stoic. He's just like, and Matt is just like, oh my God, why would she say that? Matt, did you prep your Panamanian girlfriend on the appropriate things to say and what not to say? I don't think so. Because you don't think. But when Jasmine finds out that they used to be roommates, she immediately asks if he was busy. And she's like, was he ever married? Did he have kids? And the friend is like, no, like, not that I know of. And she's like, oh, because I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact that he wouldn't introduce me to the family. And I forget, like, what leads her to say this, but she's very much like she knows better because she has experience and she's been married twice before. I mean, I'm still married.
But I'm wife material, 100%. How do I know? Because I've been married twice. What? What is funny about it?
You're using it as it's a powerful piece that it's not.
Yeah, I have experience.
Failed relationships.
No,
That's
I don't look at
experience.
that. Okay, yes. Yes, but I know what makes a marriage work and what doesn't make a marriage work. Actually, I'm still married.
No, oh, okay.
And Matt is like, that's not something to be proud of and to spew out like it's in your resume. Like, she's like, I'm just saying, I have experience. You clearly don't. Like, you failed. If Matt could dig a hole and hide, he would. And I think I missed saying it, but the friend asked, like, how did you guys end up together? How did this come about? And I think Matt, like, gives out some lie about, like, they just met at the gym and that's it. He doesn't give in any additional details. But Jasmine's approach to this dinner is, I'm done hiding. He wants me to hide that I'm pregnant with his baby. He wants me to hide that I'm married. And I'm just done hiding. Like, I'm not about that.
It looks like Matt is ashamed of my situation, and that might be the reason why he hasn't introduced me to any in his inner circle. I'm tired of hiding the truth, so I'm ready to tell David everything. I don't give a
And I'm just like, okay, if you're done hiding, call up your family in Panama. How Matt decides to communicate his news to his people is his business. He absolutely needs to do it. He should have already done it. But for you to blow his cover like that is crazy. And if he were to call up your family and blow up your cover before you were ready, we wouldn't hear the end of it. Like, that's the hypocrisy that I'm talking about. Like, absolutely, he should be claiming you. He should be claiming the baby because this is what he wanted. This is what he got. And Matt is embarrassed, but good for him. Good for him that he's embarrassed. I think that seeing his friend's reaction is a good reality check. And I think just also seeing the way Jasmine acts is also a reality check. That no matter how you want things to go with your family, you chose a very unpredictable woman, but that is who you chose. The baby, ready or not, is coming. What are you going to do about it? And even the friend is like, yeah, this is a mess, but you're going to have to tell your fam soon. But it's just so crazy to me how, like, Jasmine has, really worked it up in her brain to believe that nothing that she's done, nothing that has happened is wrong. So when someone that's outside of this bubble lets her know, like, this is off, it's not okay, she can't take it.
About her, but it's not the time and place. It's a complicated situation. Do you not agree? It's a complicated situation.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
And in this conversation, like, Matt is like, this is nothing to be proud of. I love you. I'm gonna be with you, but like, this setup, we look like a hot mess.
I look at it from one direction, and it's not that I'm ashamed of her. It's not that I'm ashamed of the baby. It all comes down to you're still not divorced. Like, we just look a hot mess. That's what I'm looking at. Why aren't you seeing this?
And you look like a hot mess because you are a hot mess, Matt. But to wrap it up with a nice little bow, Jasmine starts telling him that he's just like Gino. They're equals practically. And that she's worried that she's going to be kicked out of this country while pregnant and she's all alone. And Matt is laughing because he's like, all alone? When I've practically been taking care of you for the last year and you're all alone? But this is what she does. This is what she does.
It's like I'm all on my own because
I can't make her happy.
I don't even know who's worse, if Gino or you. Like, it's a tie match.
You just made this all my problem.
And Matt can get a look into his future because in the next time that we see them, she gets an email from Gino letting her know, hey, I've unblocked you. Call me. And she's nervous. She's quaking in her boots because she knows Gino has been quiet. He must have been plotting. So she calls up Gino. He's warmed up at the gym. And he proceeds to read her this manifesto of all the ways that she has wronged him and all of the ways that she has caused this to be marriage fraud.
The biggest mistake of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Let me finish this.
You stabbed me in the back, used me,
And broke my heart.
The whole time, Matt is laughing at the doorway, listening to everything. And I'm like, Matt, this could be you. So don't laugh too hard. But y'all, Gino is reading stuff for days. And he has calculated everything. He's like reading her an itemized list of all the expenses.
I invested a lot in this relationship.
What did you invest it? What did you invest it?
You owe me $40,000 for all the money I transferred to Panama during the 3 years you're in Panama.
You never transferred that amount.
You owe me $10,000 for the wedding because there's a scam.
I didn't want to have a wedding.
$1,225 for a green card you owe me.
Why I owe you $12,000 for what?
For all the work that I've done on the K1 and the green card. I need $5,000 for a divorce lawyer also to go through the divorce.
So all this money adds up to a good $70,000.
And some of them just don't make sense because you can't ask for money back that you gave out consensually while in a relationship. You have to take that loss, right? But also asking for money back for like a wedding, it was your wedding too. What do you mean? And then also asking for money for her to pay for your divorce lawyer. Is that, like, I don't think that's normal. So I think he's out of pocket for asking for things like that. When he's like, you know, I invested so much into you. And Jasmine's like, what did you invest? I'm like, Jasmine, again, this is like one of those things that you force yourself to believe didn't happen. But for years in Panama and when you got here, you were living off of his dime. And I know that you guys are not in a good place, but to act like that never happened is so disrespectful. And I don't know how she can sleep with herself and lying so like nonchalantly lying about something like that. We saw it. And when he didn't want to splurge on Botox and hair extensions or vacations, the way that she would go crazy on him, like, does she think that we have amnesia just because she does? And I know some people are going to be like, oh, like it was a sugar baby situation. Like he owed her that. Regardless of how you look at it, it was an investment. Do I think that she needs to pay that back? No. But I do think she should acknowledge it. Like, let's give credit where credit is due. Also, I was dying laughing. On her phone, it said Gino narcissist. One time in college, I had an ex of mine. I won't say their name, but I would have like blank, trifling ass, blank. So like their first and last name were the blanks. So I'm not above a petty name title on the phone book. I just thought it was hilarious. But then it gets ugly, of course, when he's like, I'm going to report you to immigration. This is marriage fraud. She's like, this isn't fraud. Like, we had a relationship and it didn't work out. He's like, no, it was definitely fraud. The way that you timed it out to get your green card and when you left with Matt.
It was a scam. It's marriage fraud to the T.
I married you and the marriage didn't work.
No, I'm sorry. That is criminal because the marriage was never true.
Okay, then go to immigration. Deport me. Go ahead.
I've already gone to immigration. You'll hear from them soon.
And she's like sobbing because she's like, how could you do this to me in my most vulnerable moment pregnant?
The fact that I am right now carrying a baby, choose right at this moment to call me, to threaten me with immigration.
Go back to Panama and I would be happy.
Never had empathy for me. The fact that you choose this moment, just to threaten me. What kind of person you are?
This moment, Jasmine, I just found out you're pregnant with some other guy's kid.
And here's the thing. I don't believe in this, but if he was going to do it at any time, he should have done it at the last resort. I believe, like, I know that a lot of people are like, he should do it. She did the craziest betrayal. I think that this betrayal is unforgivable, but she is now bringing life into this world. You have to count your losses. That baby is not at fault for your pain, even though it is a symbol of your pain. You have to remove yourself and just cut her off from your life. That baby needs her father, and her father is here. Jasmine has put herself in the messiest of situations because her kids are in Panama, so now she's in a state of limbo with this. I think that in inducing this kind of stress while she's pregnant, I'm not a fan of it. I think that you can get revenge in other ways. I don't know. For me, this went too far, but I know that some of you will disagree. And like, I don't want to downplay what he's feeling because I think that if a situation like this happened to me, it would take years for me to get over it. Years. But I also have to be able to live with myself. And I don't think that I could ever live with myself if I called immigration on someone. And maybe that's Gino's privilege, just like rampant. But I feel like, especially with these times, seeing that, I'm like, oof. Is Jasmine trifling? Yes. Is Jasmine a liar? Yes. But Gino, we could also have an endless list of your flaws. Y'all, we're gonna be at this angle to finish out the video. Sorry about that. My camera like glitched and like it cut off the ending part, but it's fine. It's like a few minutes. What I was saying was, Gino, we could list an itemized list of your flaws and the ways that you contributed to this divorce. Flaws, we can list the ways that there was a power dynamic in this relationship and the ways that you abused that. We could go for days. I really just don't think that he has a case for marriage fraud. Now, if he really wants revenge, I would just call up Jasmine's family in Panama and give them the news. I feel like that's a revenge that would probably make him feel good and also wouldn't be legal. Blow up her spot. Since she wants to do that to Matt, Gino, call up her family and be like, hey, I don't know if you've heard, but I'm no longer your family, even though she's stolen mine. I'm no longer your family because your querida Jasmine got pregnant by her F-buddy from the gym. Thought you should know. Click, and then be done with Jasmine. I feel like that is better revenge for me than calling immigration. Like, I mean, both are terrible, but like, you just gotta be able to live with yourself, and that's the lowest of low, in my opinion. So Jasmine is hysterical. She's crying. She's wailing. Matt is like trying to calm her down because, hello, she's pregnant. And she's like, Gino, if something happens to me and this pregnancy, Gino's like, expect a call from immigration. Truly an insane episode, and next week she's going to be crying all about this, so we have so much to look forward to. But yeah, I feel like I've been talking forever, you guys. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to reading them as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I can't believe I had to film like this, but you do what you gotta do.